Hi artists, it's Mrs. RT, the art teacher from the Angelo School. Today I'm going to read Pete the Cat and his 4 groovy buttons, and then we are going to draw Pete the Cat together. So this is the story. Pete the Cat put on his favorite shirt with 4 big, colorful, round, groovy buttons. He loved his buttons so much, he sang this song. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. Pop! Oh no! One of his buttons popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? 3. 4 minus 1 equals 3. Did Pete cry? Goodness no. Buttons come and go. He kept singing his song. My 3 groovy buttons. My 3 groovy buttons. Pop! Oh no! Another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? 2. 3 minus 1 equals 2. Did Pete cry? Goodness no. Buttons come and go. He kept singing his song. My 2 groovy buttons. My 2 groovy buttons. Pop! Oh no! Another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? 1. 2 minus 1 equals 1. Did Pete cry? Goodness no. Buttons come and go. He kept singing his song. My 1 groovy button. My 1 groovy button. Pop! Oh no! The last button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? 0. 1 minus 1 equals 0. Did Pete cry? Goodness no. Buttons come and go. Pete looked down at his buttonless shirt, and what do you think he saw? His belly button. He kept singing his song. My button still have my belly button. My button still have my belly button. I guess it simply goes to show that stuff will come and stuff will go. But do we cry? Goodness no. We kept on singing. Buttons come and buttons go. And there are all of Pete's groovy buttons. So that was the story. And now we're going to draw Pete the Cat together. So now would be a great time to grab your materials. We will need a piece of paper, a pencil, and then some crayons or something to color with. If you need to pause the video and grab some materials, now would be a good time to do that. And we're going to start with Pete's face. So I like to start with the bottom of the face. And we're going to draw Pete with some of his buttons like that. So the bottom of his face is 2 lines, almost like the letter V. Now we're going to make a line going up on each side, from the bottom of his face up to the top of his ear. And then we come down for the ear on both sides and connect those 2 ears. And that's the shape of Pete's face. Now we're going to make 2 big oval eyes. So start with 2 long ovals. And then the letter U shape for the inside of the eye. That part we're going to color in dark. You can see his eyes are kind of a yellow-orange color, and that dark part is the part that we just made. Now Pete's nose is a triangle. And then some lines for whiskers on both sides of Pete's face. Those are his little whiskers. And now we're going to make Pete the cat's body and his shirt with those groovy buttons. So start with 2 lines coming down. Then we're going to make the collar. So you can come down almost like the letter V again. Two small lines on the end for the end of the collar. And from this middle point, we're going to go out to each side. That's this part of the collar right here. And then connect those lines. And for the outside of the shirt, we'll just drop this line down all the way to the bottom of the paper on both sides. Now we need to make some of those groovy buttons from the story. So for a button, we can start with a circle. I have enough space for 2 buttons, but if you have space for more, you can make more. And then on the inside of the button, you'll see those 4 little dots. That's where the string goes to connect the button to the shirt. So 4 little dots. And then we can make a line from this point down the middle of the shirt. That's where it would open up. And that is our Pete the Cat. So now you can take some time to color your Pete the Cat. Remember, Pete the Cat is blue. In this book, his shirt is yellow, and he has some colorful, groovy buttons. But if you want to make the shirt a different color, and then you can add to the background with different colors, you can get creative and add your own background and colors to your Pete the Cat picture. So that was our Pete the Cat lesson. I hope you have fun coloring him in, and I will see you next time.